So it's all about public safety. If the public's safe, everything moves forward. If the public feels safe, everything moves forward.
Jesse Armendarez, candidate for 2nd District Board of Supervisors. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I know that you are a father of a young family you're raising your kids here. So what are those issues watching your children grow up in our community that you really feel the most drawn to?
It's quality of life, right?
Yep.
I mean, when you really think about it, it's quality of life. It's talking about issues that matter to not just my family, but every family that's in our community. So it's all about public safety.
Yeah.
If the public's safe, everything moves forward. If the public feels safe, everything moves forward. Better neighborhoods, better schooling. Kids, if a child feels safe, he's going to learn. It's almost going back to one of my school board days. If a child goes to school hungry, he's not going to learn. Well, now we've addressed those issues.
Right.
Now it's if a child feels safe.
You've had a relationship with us here at SEBA through our charities, through various things. But, not everybody who's going to be watching this understands that like we do and why we've endorsed you. There's one thing specifically for us, when we were trying to affect change, you were the one that was there, who came out, you walked neighborhoods with us, you door knocked with us. Explain why that was important to you to be an ally to us. Because I think that means something. It really means something to us.
I've always been an advocate for public safety. And, I've always supported whether it was a school board member with making sure that our school police had the right tools, the necessary tools for them to do their job effectively and for them to come home every night. And that's what I would preach. I'd be like, it's bigger than just us, being, advocates for education. Even then I was talking about safety.
Right.
And allowing our police to have, at the school level, to have every resource they needed so that they came home too. I wanted to be that voice for you guys.
Right.
Because I'm that voice where I'm at. It wasn't just me talking the talk.
Right.
I started walking the walk.
Quite literally.
Yeah. and that, I think that was my way of saying, look, I'm not just going to talk.
Right.
I'm going to do.
How do you find out what any of your constituents, but in our case, what law enforcement needs to better do their job? And how do you work through that?
Through the years that I've been able to be a policymaker and make decisions, I've learned that everything isn't always what it appears to be.
Right.
And I've learned not to, to trust, but you have to verify,
Right.
And I've said this to, almost every organization I've had the pleasure to work with. I'm like, the worst thing you can ever do is lie to me, because we build our relationship off of trust. And if you're going to give me information, please make sure it's correct information. I think it's that communication. You got to have constant communication. You have to talk regularly. You don't talk during negotiations. You need to talk throughout the whole year. And I've said this a million times. I'm not your friend one time every 4 years, and I don't want you to be my friend one time every 2 years.
Right.
I want to be friends the whole time. I want to know issues before they become issues. I want to know what's happening, what things you're concerned with, what things you think need to be implemented, what things you think need to be dealt with now so that it's not a problem tomorrow. I don't want us to have articles in the newspaper about something if we could have dealt with it a month ago, 2 months
Right.
ago, 3 months ago. And I think allowing people to understand that my job is to be accessible. My job is to be the advocate. My job is to be a policymaker that does what I believe is the best for my community, but also being able to articulate to you why it's best.
Right.
Because I may not always agree with you.
Right. Nor should you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean.
And when I don't, I have to be able to convey to you why. Because I've always said I'm accountable for every vote I give. I will tell you why I did it. And we can walk away either saying, okay, I understand now, or I don't agree with you, but at least I understand you gave meaningful thought into your action.
You've been on school board,
Mm-hmm.
city council, and now you're going for board of supervisors. Yeah. In your experience, what's, something that you can help tell this voting population what your job is and how you intend to do it better?
My job as a supervisor is to be, more importantly, over everything, is to be the advocate for the issues that matter at the county level, which is public safety and mental health. If we're going to do some sort of regional developmental plan, being the advocate to be out there speaking why it's good, why it's bad, what should we do next?
How do you decide what you're going to advocate for?
I think it's passions. And that's what the whole campaign is about, right? If you would have asked me 2 years ago where my passions lied, and I would have been like, I'm a rank and file, I'm public safety number one, because that's what I've done my whole life, and that's what I've known. But my public safety expanded.
Right.
My public safety wasn't just about making sure my police officers had the necessary tools they needed. Through personal experience and heartbreak and seeing the pitfalls and the lack of in our county when it came to mental health issues, and seeing how it directly impacts our public safety, how it directly impacts our homeless numbers, how it directly impacts our society in general, and how we live. That became my passion.
I think we realize, the ones that do the job, we realize we're the tip of the spear for every societal issue that has
good, bad, or indifferent. Yeah.
Correct, right? And we get called to the issues that somewhere along the line something has broken down. I won't say failed, because I think that's too derogatory.
Yeah.
So we do understand that.
I think that it's how do I get you the tools to take you to that next level where you have the resources so that you guys can continue to do your job, but also, and I hate to say it that way, take on the next level of that job, which is dealing with these homeless people in the way that, a lot of people, are for and against, different types of ways or methods of dealing with our homeless. For me, I always say it's an all-inclusive. There's no one size fits all. We have to come together. But a part of that is going to be, at the very end of the day, enforcement, right? 22 interactions with a police officer before a homeless person decides they want help.
Not only that, I mean, we have our HOPE team, and studies have shown, even in the county alone, 5 public safety personnel gets a lot done just simply because of the methods, the authority, but the HOPE team is not heavy-handed or that kind of thing. But
there's going to come a time where we have to be a little bit more heavy-handed, and we need to make sure we have everything else in place. We got to make sure we have all the resources available for the mental health, for the drug addicted, for all the other people who have crisis that we can help, that want help.
Right.
Because I am very much a big proponent of, I will help those who want help, but you do not have the right to defecate in my parks. You do not have the right to defecate on a speaker at McDonald's in front of my 3-year-old, because that's what happened.
Oh my God.
You don't have that right. And to walk away and not have any accountability.
Right.
Because if you or I to do any of those type of things, we would be arrested, we would go through the whole process, and they do not. So there has to be an accountability component. And I get it. We can't just do it all at once and just say, hey, drop a hard hammer. But we need to make sure, if we're going to drop the hammer, that we give every opportunity for you to want to change, need to change, have to change. Every one of those opportunities have to be made there. But once that is there, there's no reason why you cannot be held accountable.
Well, and I guess it's a good segue to why now you're seeking this higher office, right? Higher than the city, to be able to get some influence in various different departments and places.
It is 100% about being able to do more and being accountable more for the things that I've been doing the last 8 years.
Just explain to us, who is Jessie Armendarez?
It goes back to my first daughter being 3 years old and me seeing her, and I thought to myself, she is not going to have as good as a life as I did.
Wow.
And that's when the light bulb came on for me. That's when I said I had to be involved politically. I challenged myself. And I said, when she grows up and she becomes an adult, she's going to look at me one day and say, what did you do? Yeah. That's how I felt. That was the genuine conversation I had with myself. And I did not want my answer to be, I did nothing. When you ask who I am, that was my drive.
I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the dialogue. You have our full support here at SEBA. We very much hope to see you as the next 2nd District Supervisor. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.